Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone, and shahotaka to the people from the island of Ak.
Wow.
We got
I
some
love
viewers
Ak.
there.
Do you ever
Yes.
travel Ak?
I don't, but I want to. And we have two fans there.
That's beautiful.
They were descendants of Coast Watchers. But anyways, we'll start off today's show. It's been very hot and beautiful out, but it looks like we might be getting a T-storm coming through. So we're in the back studio today.
Yeah, we got a lot of studios here.
And you got some news on the owner of our football team and hockey team, so you want to...
Yeah, just a
Okay.
quick update. They couldn't get into anything real personal, but I was at Bill's training today for usher school, you might call it. Anyway, the executive VP came and said that they can't say much, but Kim is heading in a positive direction. And he was thrilled to hear that and thrilled to tell us that. So, again, nothing much has been said about that. He also, but again, hopefully positive means we're going to hear better things.
Good news. They're good people.
Yep.
They catch, I think, a lot of undue shit.
Yeah, they
from
do.
Media and fans, and they're not. They don't mangle. She took a leadership role in the Sabre
Is
organization.
that Joseph
right?
Mengler?
No, but
Oh,
in
Mango.
all sincerity, it's their money. They put a lot of money in. They threw a lot of money that turned out to be bad money. They did it in the right cause.
Yes.
Why not oversee it?
Yeah.
And I don't think she's making trades or any of that. And
No, she's not
if she
doing it.
has with the Bills, she's doing a good job. But we know Bean and McDermott run that show, and
Yeah.
our thoughts and prayers go out to them. They're good people, and thank God
Absolutely.
they decided to
By this team.
buy this team and
Because,
our
boy,
teams.
And hire the two people that they got in charge now. Because, wow,
and
what a
the people
difference.
in hockey, I think they've turned the corner there too. But whatever.
Yes, they have. Secondly, they mentioned, we asked about the new stadium. No shovels in the ground this year, which you probably know. The thing that they did say, though, is we asked about when we will see, renderings of the stadium, architectural, what it'll look like, exactly, that kind of thing. And they said that should be released by the end of summer. So that's something to look forward to.
Are they going to be artist conceptions, or are they going to be actually what it might look like?
Yeah, I think they're going to be a little bit more than artists. They're getting pretty close, he said. This guy's name is Andy Major. He's the head of guest services. He's an EVP. He mentioned that before this thing with Kim, he was down in Boca Raton. They were talking about the year. Then mess of them, along with the architect, flew over to see the stadium in London, not Wembley, but I
Right.
forgot the name. So that's with a T.
Yeah, I can't think of it either. And it's a stadium. You've heard it on the Yellow Pages. They've talked about it.
Yeah.
Very similar to what they might be doing here, right?
Yeah, and what I liked is Andy Major said that they are really looking at, they spent almost an entire day not really on the field or the locker rooms, but more on what kind of fan experience are we doing here, and to better that fan experience, what are we going to provide for our employees so that they can portray the better fan experience to them. So, and Terry stood up at the end after not saying much, and he told a guy that was writing down all the suggestions to put the employee ones at the top, because we're the people that will convey that fan experience if we're happy.
Right.
So it was pretty cool. I like that. You know what? My God, you could say anything you want, and it's archaic. It's 50 years old, but I'm in this Dunn Tire Club, air conditioning, all these suites, layout, and everything. I'm telling you, that's a beautiful stadium, and I know why we have to build a new one. Don't get me wrong, but that's a nice stadium, and you are really seriously right on top of the game.
And hopefully that stays in the architectural plans. I know they want to make it so you possibly could play soccer there, which I don't think should change things too much, right?
No, it's still rectangular. Where you get into problems if you make it a baseball stadium.
And all of that.
Which
and
we won't do.
everybody's getting away from that anyway. And,
Right.
Anyways, a lot of great thoughts and memories at the Ralph, and it is a shame, but as we all know, you can only do so much to that place.
Lipstick on a pig?
Well, yeah, but their foundation and the way
That's
it was
what I mean,
built, and
that's-
hopefully this stadium will be more above ground, which will keep a lot of the conditions, weather and wind and stuff.
They said they have heard that.
No.
They are desperately trying to stop that wind tunnel effect that not only us as fans have to deal with, but the players,
Right.
Josh and everybody throwing a football, and they're trying to do everything they can. It's good stuff. I mean, they actually cut, you were right yesterday, they cut camp short. It was only 2 days instead of 3. They felt that they got so much done, and they're ahead of the game, even with a couple of new coaches and things, and the rookies. So,
Bills brought in a complete referee team, not just refs from the local area or
real
some,
NFL refs.
Well, no, but yes, but a lot of times they'll bring in guys that might live locally, can drive here, and put together a group, maybe a couple of college guys. This is actually a team that works together on Sundays,
Yeah.
and they came in,
Yeah, flew them in if they had to.
did
Yep.
the practice, and called some shots, and apparently on one of the plays there was a catch by Crowder, and they called it incomplete, and the Bills' offense was challenge, and the girl Sarah
Sarah, the ref.
came in and overturned it, and they were teasing, Sarah. It was fun, but a lot of coaches working with the refs and the players trying to figure out why was that called like that, and
I love that.
blah. I do too.
I love that. And I think it's unusual because they usually have those for a few days at training camp.
Right.
But a 2-day mini camp, I mean, this team, say what you want, this team does really everything right.
Well, attention to detail.
Attention to detail. They are
Having
freaking good
said
at
all
it.
that,
Well, yeah.
13 seconds.
13 seconds
Sean,
was blown.
whatever. But
Yeah.
we move on. We're tempering our expectations, right? But why not? They're good owners. The torch was passed on from a guy that did wonderful things for the area that we all
Yep.
criticized, and he made sure that team stayed, and he gave actual dollars
Yep.
to the city of Buffalo and stuff, and he passed the torch on to these people. They're good people.
Yep.
And guys, the losing and stuff has nothing to do with them. Everything that they've done with both teams, I think for the most part we've agreed with, right?
Yeah, at the
I mean,
time,
at
and,
the time,
and
and-
they were like, they went out and got the new hot person and all that, and they just didn't work. I mean, if you remember when we got Rex Ryan, I'll go back to the Bills for a second, not the Sabres. I mean, at first you got a little excited. We got a name in here and everything,
Right.
and then a few weeks in, you started to see,
Right.
and then he hired his buffoon brother. And,
Wow, and then he's spending more time at the Big Tree Inn in his decorated pickup than he was actually coaching. But at the time,
at
these
the time,
people,
they felt they needed a name, and he was the name out
he
there.
put us on the map.
Yeah,
But they hit a home run with Sean McDermott and his
Sure
Brandon
did.
Bean, and those guys are doing a wonderful job. And I think they've hit a similar home run with Kevin Adams.
Yep.
And we'll say it again. I think Kevin Adams is his knowledge more than Botterill's. I don't think so, but what he's got is a set of balls.
Yeah.
And he knows how to make a decision, and he drafts where Botterill drafted more Europeans to give him more time.
yeah.
Not necessarily that the talent wasn't there, but he was afraid to make those
Make
final
the
decisions.
decision.
This guy isn't. And
And I think you surround yourself with great people. I think Botterill had a big ego, and he made all the decisions. This guy is not afraid to Kevin Adams isn't afraid to call in the troops and say, here's what I'm thinking. What do you guys
Right.
think? And, it goes back to the Bills, right? Humble and hungry.
Right.
Humble's a key word there. I mean, you can get a gigantic head and say, I'm one of only 32 GMs or only one of 32 NFL coaches, but when you step back and go, I don't know all the answers, so I want to get better every day. That can be a cliche or it can be true, and I think we have the guys that live by it.
And I don't know if Botterill necessarily knew talent. I think he was pretty smart with his talent, but the trade with St. Louis, for example,
Oh,
it was almost like he took what they were giving him.
exactly.
Unless he honestly thought that big center and that forward were actually going to help people. I mean,
You can't think
that trade should have been the first round pick, no conditions.
right.
Tage Thompson, I had no problem with him at the time. He was a prospect, but
And
it
probably
should have been Rob Thomas
Rob
or somebody.
Thomas, I was just going to say.
But no, we buckled under, and
At the time, Tage, now obviously last year it worked out. He came out of the gates and turned into the player we hoped he'd be. However, he was their 4th or 5th prospect that we
Right.
took. So don't give any kudos to Botterill
No.
on that. He got taken to the back
And-
wood barn and got beaten up.
if it wasn't for the creativity of Don Granato,
Right.
Who knows where Tage Thompson is today,
Yeah.
right?
We
He
may
said,
be-
let's
we-
try something different here.
We may be, on restricted free agency later.
Because
Yeah.
it wasn't happening with the fraud.
Oh,
Who
fraud.
we all know now is a fraud.
Yeah.
Sabres notes, the Sabres signed a 5th-round pick from one of the 2018.
One Cederquist.
Philip Cederquist. He
That's a pretty neat signing.
scored some nice goals in the
5th-round
Elite
pick.
League. Yep.
So they're seeing something in the major league over there in Sweden.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. I mean, it's worth it was a 2-year entry level contract, not like the number 1 pick sometimes get 3.
3. Yeah.
But it's neat to see his progression, and having lost the kid that went to Chicago and now plays in the Stanley Cup Finals, you're probably thinking, maybe management's telling him, look, I'll spend $1 million on a 2-year deal. Let's see what we got.
Right, and it's I think I don't know, the 3rd or 4th prospect from that draft that
Yeah.
is involved with the Sabres, and
Yeah.
was that Botterill's
What
draft?
year?
Though?
What year was it?
Boy, I'm trying to think now. Adams has had how many drafts?
2.
Was it Adams' first draft?
I think Zetterquist and these guys might have been the last year.
Of Botterill?
And you know what? If it is, give him
Well,
credit.
kudos, right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Then he found somebody. But I do like the fact that we're trying. We said last show that, well, they're signing people. Well, everybody signs people. What we mean is, when it looks like there's going to be some talent there, give it a shot.
Right.
Don't let these guys like Hagen and these guys get out.
The Sabres also signed, traded for Ben Bishop, and they got a 7th-round pick and a future considerations for a guy that'll never play.
Right.
But they got some salary there. Another good move.
Yeah, it's a 1-year deal that he's got left, so they're just inheriting it. It'll get us to the floor, because what the Sabres know, and Tom and I have talked about, is that don't go crazy this offseason, okay? And don't go shopping all these free agents that are 31 and they're done, because we're going to have some big contracts coming due.
Well, and the Bills use the motto, they see who you pay.
Yeah.
And they like to take care of their own and stuff. The Sabres have adopted that same motto, and they're going to have, knock on wood, let's just say, Darlene is completely turning his game around.
Yeah, no, he's
Power
the real deal
you could be looking at Power, Darlene, and Thompson
right there.
as $30 million
Yeah,
right there.
you could. Absolutely, 27, 30 million.
And that's not to say Quinn isn't going to. So
and then you got Quinn coming up, and then you got Paterka. So
build your team.
They're doing it right.
Build your team through your draft, and then
Augment.
augment with like the Rangers did. And I don't like the Rangers, but they brought in some of those
Role
sandpaper
players.
guys
Yeah, gritty role
through
players.
free agency.
Not
And-
not Johan Larsson.
No, and and that's what you'd want to do here with the Sabres and stuff. And I think they're heading in the right direction too. We don't need to go spend money on all these guys. Let's pay our own when they develop and produce, and then lock them up long term, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's,
And you got Middlestead, you got Krebs, who's going to be. These are all going to be very good hockey players.
yes, they are. Yes,
And
they are.
you got to keep some salary cap space available for them. And maybe the one thing, maybe a trade for a goaltender. Maybe Olafson's on the list.
Let's talk about Olsen. So, I'd love to have him back, but the feeling is that if he's restricted. If he chooses arbitration, that an arbitrator will likely give him $5.5–6 million. To which the Sabres got to say, well, how does that fit in a year or two down the road with all these stars? So, I guess the cumulative feeling is that he's going to be dealt, and if he's going to be dealt, that's fine. But let's try to get somebody in here to play goal the next couple of years.
Yeah, and I don't think he's just going to be dealt to be dealt. I think
No, I
that
agree.
guy, when he got healthy,
Yeah,
he
big
can
difference.
play.
Yep.
And
And he actually showed more than just on the power play.
he made
this last
guys
year.
around him better.
He did.
And you're right. And
I agree.
the thing is, because we're not quite ready yet, he might be available only because of his contract situation and the fact we could maybe get a goaltender
Right.
that could get us through the next couple of years till the rookies are
Right.
ready to play.
Right.
It's not a shot at Victor Olofsson by any means.
Not at all.
And it might not end up to come to fruition. They might think that, no,
Somebody
he's
they gotta
worth
have.
keeping.
He's one of the core.
We
Yep.
can sign him for a 3 or 4 year deal, and maybe that becomes a Middlestead or a Krebs or something. But there's a lot of those types of guys right now, and we're not quite ready yet. But somebody's going to have to move out maybe for that goaltender, right? Because you can't go with 901
Can't
and
do that.
889 and all
I
that
was
shit.
gonna say mostly sub 9, but No, it'll be interesting. I was watching the Stanley Cup game last night, and look at an Eric Johnson, right? And now here's a guy we talked. Tom, you brought this up before. Now, as a number one overall in his draft class, you would label him a bust.
Right.
Okay. However, he's still a good defenseman that can hitch and play. He's probably second, third pair.
Right.
So, according to where they took him, yeah, it was way too early. However, he's in his 12th year.
But look at Jack Johnson for them.
Yep.
Also another number one.
Yep.
And when you look at players on these teams, like with the Sabres, for example, well, Middlestad hasn't done anything. In a couple of years, if we're good, he might be a solid third-line guy.
Third line guy. That's what that was my point for all this.
Exactly.
The middle stats.
The best players in
Krebs.
hockey, and probably in most sports,
Mhm.
are obtained at the higher ends of the draft.
Absolutely.
Right?
And probably more in the NHL
Right.
than even the NFL. Because the NFL's more, they can see 4 years of what you're done. You're usually 22 years old, usually.
Right.
Where the NHL, you're looking at a kid.
And
in
then,
the NHL.
and then you look and see it becomes part of the puzzle piece too. Like Jack Johnson, for example, I don't know where he was exactly, Columbus or somewhere,
Mhm.
and now he was signed as an insurance policy.
Right.
But when the kid got hurt for them, he moved in, and now he's a
Okay.
steady guy that is helping them in their goal to get a Stanley Cup. And so don't get all blown away by, oh, this guy's not doing this or this guy's not doing that.
Yeah, that's the middle stat comparison. To me, it's the Krebs, the middle stat.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I don't dislike either of them.
No,
I'm saying they may not be your number one center. Well,
Right.
boy, there's a spot on this team.
But if you can figure out a puzzle piece, like back when the
Yep.
Sabres heyday, 7 and 8 and stuff, we had that line of Stafford, Vanek, Roy maybe.
Yeah.
They were,
Roy's a good little player. I always liked that. Roy.
but they were as a third line. Now Stafford was a first round pick, Vanek was a first round pick. They kicked ass.
Well,
but,
and I remember a series against the Flyers. They looked stymied. They didn't even know what to do because we rolled 4 lines
Right.
that were almost like a first line.
right,
They couldn't defend us.
right. And then when we did the snafu with the contracts and stuff, they thought that maybe Roy and those guys would be a number one line, and
They really weren't.
They really, as a line, weren't.
But to the point of this, the puzzle pieces, you get Krebs, excuse me, or Middlestat playing a third line situation, or maybe even fourth, and I'm not mocking them. That is tough to defend.
Another thing too that the Sabres have done in the minors the last couple of years, these guys have all killed penalties. Middlestad,
Very
Krebs,
true. Good point.
Quinn, Paterka,
Yep.
have killed penalties in the minors, and to a certain point, those guys
Even
here,
Tage.
Tage Thompson and Tuck.
Fuck.
And let me tell you guys, that is a great idea. They've done it in Rochester. They're doing it here, and
Well, we're losing, right? And so we've said this before. What great cross training. You're not going to the playoffs. You almost
Right.
know it, especially by the middle of the year. Let's put people in different positions. See where they excel. See where they can do it. They can't do it. It's like having a gigantic training camp where the games count.
right.
And I think that you got to give it to our coach because
Granado and Ken
Granado.
Adams and their plan.
they figured
Exactly.
they did a great job of figuring stuff out. There's many nights we'd say, well, why did he bench this guy? Why is he playing this guy? It was all about experimenting.
Experimenting, lighting a fire, all kinds of stuff. And that coupled with the fact you want to be here.
Yep.
And you just get hungrier and hungrier. And we commented on this show a year ago when they had locker clean out. And Eichel was kind of cocky. Remember, he came out,
Yep.
he was cocky.
It
And,
was very bad.
and Reinhardt, and nobody bemoaned the fact those guys might not be here. We
Nobody said a
commented.
word.
And it was interesting that nothing was said.
Yeah.
These guys are just thrilled to be coming back, and that means a lot. I know other
GR doesn't
shows,
think
outlets
so,
don't
but
think so, but it does.
it does.
It means a lot.
It does.
Um,
Well, give me an example. I know this was in the news or something, so it's not new, and you probably heard this. But so Isaiah McKenzie's on some The Voice, or I don't care what it was. He was on some show with Brian Scott, the ex-linebacker of the Bill,
Right.
and they formed this little singing group and everything. So whatever you think of that, guys stayed at the stadium, didn't go home to their wives or girlfriends, right? Stayed at the stadium. Josh gets on a table. They got like a 100-inch TV screen showing it, and the whole freaking play. Almost every player was there. Now you can laugh about that, but that's really cool stuff. That shows that. Now in the Sabres of 2 years ago, you'd probably have like 5 people there, and everybody else would just
Right.
leave.
Right.
And that, I'm telling you, these guys will not really literally die for each other, but these guys will go the extra mile to win for each other.
And then you have to be able to find the talent. And mix the talent into that
Boy,
group.
have we done it.
And then when you start turning the pages, guys like Von Miller say, "Yeah, I'll give that a shot."
Yeah.
And
Well, tell me, I know we came here for money, guys. Let's not. But put that aside. You can make money anywhere. We saw from afar this defense, this Josh Allen, this coaching staff, and we were one of the two we wanted to go to. Stay in L.A. And you can laugh, okay, L.A., but L.A. is what? Generally not snowing. They won a Super Bowl, right? And you're coming to Buffalo, New York. Well, that goes back to this team, this identity, this great kid, Josh Allen, who is not only a great quarterback, but a great person. And all that weave together, and look who you got coming here.
And it's coupled in, it's still a game, and young at heart play it, and they all know that fan base raises a little hell, right? And
Well, isn't that great what Von Miller said?
Yeah.
I don't want to win the Super Bowl for us. I want to win it for the fans. These fans are, I've come here. It's insane.
Right.
I mean, we are known. Listen, you see, read the national press. The national press loves this team and loves this city's allegiance to this team and loves the Bills Mafia. That's all you can
Right.
say. I mean, they do.
And just one, like we all said before,
Just
just
one,
one.
baby.
News and notes from the camp.
Yes.
Um,
Please do.
Tavon Austin has impressed a lot of the
Yeah.
viewers with his camp viewers. I mean by that,
Yeah.
with his route running and his attention to detail and getting involved in stuff. I don't know what that means, but it's going to make the talent level better. It's competition.
Everybody steps up. I saw Hodgins made an incredible catch near the sideline. He stretched completely out for it without leaving his feet and caught it.
And they pointed out a play this morning. I was listening to the Bills sideline reporter, and he said that Kyler Elam was
Yeah.
guarding one of the Bills receivers, I think Crowder, and there'd been some foul up. Crowder stopped his route, and DBs are taught to finish the route, and he kept running and saw Josh was thinking that Crowder was going to. I might be wrong with the players.
No, you're right about what happened.
Threw the ball down the sideline. Elam ran it down
Yeah,
and made a
he
great
picked it.
pick.
He made a great
and
pick.
Bill's bench went nuts and stuff.
And it was a mistake by the receiver, not
Right.
Josh. But this team, I mean, this is going to be fun. But again, you got to play every game. Okay, this is a tough league, tough conference. Our division's getting better with Miami and everything. They won 10 last year and didn't make the playoffs. The bottom line is this. Play every game. These guys are smart enough to know that. We've had a couple years of success that we didn't go to the Super Bowl because of XYZ. Now, the next step. And I believe that this is the team, this is the leaders on the team and the coaching staff that'll get them there. I really
and
do.
don't get all blown away at wins and losses. People say, what do you think? I really don't know. I know this team's good. Good is good. They're going to win 10, 11, 12 games. I don't know where they're going to win or where they're going to lose. But just get to the play. This team needs
Win the division.
get primed and to play in the playoffs.
Yep.
And early on, whatever. Yes, win the division is important. Home field advantage would be sweet,
It would
but
be
not
sweet.
necessary.
But not necessarily very tough. Although the pundits will point to that we're 3-0 at home in the playoffs under McDermott and 0-4 on the road. Now, it is tough to win on the road in the playoffs. However, I think on paper, we have the best team in football.
Well, the pundits also pointed out that if my aunt had a sausage, she'd be my uncle. But that,
What, isn't your aunt now both?
well, that's another
She
story
went-
for
yeah,
another show.
she went
Right, that's-
transgender, yeah.
She wanted so hard to have that. But anyways,
Sausage and okay,
Right.
Good.
just thought we'd point that out.
Tom, I noticed I'm sorry to point this out on television here, on YouTube, but you do have a loop in your garage door
That is
closure.
true. It is not a sign of white supremacy or
Are you sure?
systematic racism. It's actually the thing you put your hand in, especially my wife, who's only 5'2", so she can pull the garage door down.
Oh, okay.
It's
Because I
not
was going to
news.
say, this could be KKK coming in.
I think we cleared that up on a show
We did.
about a month
Yes, we
back.
did. But I like the ball bus.
When was the last person actually hung in this country? Because we're told by the
Like well,
hypocrites. No, these hangings that we're told about.
No, I know.
One quick thing about the playoffs last night. I want to point this
Playoffs?
out quick.
Yeah.
Game went to overtime, right?
Correct.
A minute something into the game,
Yep.
Avalanche won.
Minute 24.
The Tampa Bay Lightning never really had a chance in overtime to control the puck.
Right.
There's something got to be done about that so
Yep.
that each team can control the puck.
Yeah. Sure, I think you have to change overtime. For example, if a team has taken the puck by the horns and really had it for more than a minute or two, the other team, there's got to be a face-off, and make the face-off in the offensive zone of the, quote, losing team. So they have a chance to get the draw and tie it up.
Right, I agree, because
You got to do it.
we did
They
not
have
see
to touch the
Tampa.
puck.
We did not see Tampa get a chance at all with the
No.
puck.
You got to fix that.
I think it
Okay, you got to fix it.
completely has to be fixed.
And I think the glass has got to go all the way to the top of the stadium and to the roof, so you can't get a delay of game penalty.
No, and you know what? Notice how fun bubble hockey is, because the puck never leaves.
Never leaves. There you go. Boy, that's a great analogy.
Yes,
well
it is.
done. Well done.
News and notes, the Bills will be away now until training camp at St. John Fisher.
Oh, by the way, today, and it's right now, it's about 2 in the afternoon. Today, that the dates for St. John Fisher will be publicly announced. That was another inside discussion.
We will be calling all our viewers, because we don't have a Twitter feed, we will be calling all our viewers with the updates. As a lot of my boys know, I
All 12 of you.
contacted each one of them about the Cedarquist signing.
All 12 of you.
News and notes, publicly, the economy, I think, is rolling along.
Well, we're down 800 points in the Dow today. We've now dropped below 30,000 in the Dow. You know, it's all right. Listen, the sky's not falling. Everything's great under Shitstick. He has employment's way up. Now, he won't tell you that it was built from zero because everything shut down during COVID, but it's way up.
In all honesty, he took over a mess where the
From
economy was
former,
shut down.
Yeah, the former
People
president.
were dying of an illness,
Yes.
and he took over a complete mess. And
Yeah, he did. God
we
bless
are
him.
going to have the cleanest friggin' air of the whole planet.
Yeah, this side
Listen.
of the trade winds. Now, what will happen is all the dump, carbon dioxide, chemicals, urine, shit, is going to come in the trade winds over Asia, Southeast Asia, and India. And that'll just hit first Hawaii, and then the left
By the
coast,
way,
and then we'll be smelling like shit.
more people have died under this shit stick of COVID than the predecessor.
And
but-
wait a minute, and who developed the vaccine?
Oh, the predecessor, the Nazi.
That idiot that tweeted.
The guy that gets compared to Hitler yet, I don't see any home decoratory skills in his work
So he's not a
resume.
paper hanger.
No. By the way, Father Fauci, the creator of C19, tested positive with COVID. He is boosted to the bejesus, and he's sick. Whatever. We do now have, of course, monkey pox.
By the way, that's racist. So they're going to be looking to change monkeypox to something a little bit more vanilla, because that is a racist term.
It
Now,
is.
it's not racist because it did come from a monkey back in 1958, but you know, we're woke now.
And it's a sexually, I believe, transmitted thing. It started in a rave, I think they call it. I was
Well,
corrected.
it started with a monkey somebody doing something with a monkey. Now that person went into a rave,
Did it
and-
start with a whisper? But
and then that person that was infected with the monkeypox
who
went into a
brought
rave,
the
and then
chimp to the God-blessed rave?
he wasn't there. I'm telling you. It happened in Africa. Then the guy went
Goes to
infected,
Belgium, and of course
and then he
France.
laid on 64
How
guys
vous français?
at any port in the store.
And here we go. Now we got, like we said in previous shows, we got ED coming across the border. We got Donkey Kong now.
Donkey Kong.
It's just unbelievable. We're being invaded over the border, everybody. I know you don't hear about
It
it.
usually comes from Asia and Africa.
It's very similar to the movie Wolverine with Sean Connery, where they're looking for a sub. That's happening in real life right
Wolverine?
now.
Well, you have gone way off the trail.
That is happening. We're going to have a Red Dawn, and it's not going to be
That's the,
November 3rd or
There you
whatever.
go. Red Dawn is the submarine
It's
with
when
Sean
all these commies
Okay.
take over. They're invading
Connery.
us.
Well done. Well done. You finally got it right.
Hundreds of thousands, 300,000 illegals this year alone.
Yep.
Blowing
That's
away
fun.
records there. They've promoted Cammie to bullying on the internet. You know the great job she's done with the border.
Did you say bowling on the internet?
Bullying.
Oh, bullying.
Bullying on the internet. She's now in charge of that. Now the president
I won't
yesterday
stand for bullying.
had some type of meaning about this transgender. For the life of me, I can't figure out. Less than 1% of the population, but we're treating it like they're everywhere. There's actually a song. A mother was upset in, I think, Michigan.
Yeah.
They were singing a song in a kindergarten class. I kid you not.
Don't kid us.
The hips
We have loyal
on
listeners.
on the tranny go swish, swish, swish.
Wow. Wow.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll
Hip-
tell you what the
I can
chicks
see
are
that too.
saying.
Hip on the train. He goes swish, swish, swish.
Swish. And they want drag dances at the schools.
All right.
Drag, okay? I'll tell you what the Chinese are saying. They're laughing their asses off. All right? Wait, roll your boat. We take them over. They're going to wait for a cloudy day and march in because our tanks won't run, our planes won't fly.
Yeah, solar panels won't get enough.
We are
energy.
going to be honorables very soon.
Very soon.
Under this regime. There's lawlessness like you haven't seen.
Now,
What's the biggest fear from our Attorney General, Mayor Gardick?
Yeah, what was it?
White supremacy. Yet last weekend, 346 people were shot across the country.
They weren't what? They
17
weren't
dead.
shot by white
They weren't
supremacists.
shot by any white supremacists. They were all shot by whatever in different cities and innocent people killed. And
Yeah.
where's the law?
One thing I really like. Can I interrupt?
George Gaston. Let me
Go
throw
ahead.
this in. Georgie Gaston.
Gaston.
In L.A. They're
It's gotta
trying to
be
get this
removed.
jackass out. He's a George Soros back guy. Do the math.
As was the asshole in Frisco.
Has said anybody shot and killed by a police officer, the town or whatever city in Los
Jurisdiction
Angeles
will move away.
will pay for the funeral.
Oh, okay. That's great.
Thank you, George.
What
Gaston.
about if one of these asshole thugs shoots a cop? Are they going to pay for
No,
that and take
no,
care of
no.
people?
And you might say, well, what if Gaston's family is injured by one of these thugs? Oh, I say to you,
Say to you, there
We're
will be
paying
criminal prosecution.
well, no, we're paying $70,000 a month for their own personal security at the
But if they
taxpayer's
do get
expense.
through and they injure them or kill them,
They are tattooing champ on their foreheads in these
Champ.
prisons because that's what they call Gaston. He's a champ, ma.
now
He's a
what,
champ.
what I like though is for anybody who's older and has experienced anal bleeding, I haven't personally. I know a few cousins that have. I like the fact they're putting tampons in men's room because, you know,
No.
maybe you don't need it for what a woman would use it for, but what about anal bleeding?
We all know it.
What about, what do they call those, hemorrhoids?
Right,
I mean, you might need it for a hemorrhoid.
right.
Right, so
rubber
now they're
bands
available.
are fine. I just don't know what's going on here.
Rubber bands.
Again, I'll say, had these rules pertained to me in '76, I would have been all Catholic and woman shot, and probably I'm denied a college scholarship.
You would have.
No, I don't get it. And protesting these Supreme Court judges' houses, the lawlessness. But Cori Bush has $80,000 a month security.
And tell us why Corey thinks she deserves that.
Her body needs to be protected because she got 11 million people from getting evicted.
She done stop from being a victim.
By the way, he spoke the other day, our fearless leader, at the AFL-CIO, which I believe had to be at gunpoint because they're cheering.
Oh yeah, they are going through
Yahoo!
everybody.
He goes, and we have people from being evicted. No, the laws wouldn't let people get you. They still can't get people out of these houses, and they're not paying.
What about us landlords?
Landlords, there's 70-inch TV boxes, pizza boxes, all this shit, and nobody can pay their rent.
Some people. You think? Wait a minute. You think some of those renters took advantage
I
of
think
the law
I think they did.
and said, "Hey, we don't have to pay rent this week. Let's go get that 100-inch TV we've
And-
always wanted."
I experienced chest pains last night
Oh no.
when a congresswoman won election. They had to fill a void until November, and then she'll have to run again.
She had the void. Okay.
She won in Texas. I don't know the area.
Okay.
For the first time since 1850, a Republican won the congressional seat. Now, it's just temporary till November. You know what she said when she was accepting the nomination?
What's that?
This is where I got chest pains. Please prepare yourself.
Okay, I'm ready.
She's going to bring God back to the halls of Congress.
You can't do that.
My chest tightened.
Oh, you can't do that.
I couldn't believe I heard
Just
that.
give stuff free away and separation of church and state.
And God
Don't
bless.
pray to God in a classroom.
And another-
Tell them that they should be able to be whatever they want to.
666, Natos. George Washington University is dropping
Oh no.
their nickname and their mascot. Their mascot was the Uncle Sam looking guy,
Okay.
and they were called
Wait a minute. Let me say, what was George Washington?
Colonials.
Oh no, not the. You know what the Colonials were? They were tyrants.
Bigots.
They stood up against England.
Bigots. They're no longer called the
The
Colonials.
Colonials. Well, I'll
Can't
tell
have
you.
it.
Well, listen, we have covered an awful
We
lot.
sure have a
today.
couple new
Yes.
viewers want to say hello to Bill and Terry from Florida.
Yeah, Bill and
Great to
Terry.
hear from you guys. We'll be in touch.
Yeah.
Wayne and I remembered a lesson we learned from your house.
Yes.
Famous fumble.
The fumble where I handed Tom a rum and coke.
And I was looking at the game and not paying attention,
And uh-oh.
and it was a nasty mess. And to
Yeah.
this day,
Yeah.
we always do. Let's not repeat. We're not going
Yeah.
to give the last name, but let's not repeat that fiasco.
Yeah.
But great to see you
We're
guys.
still sorry about that.
We are. That was ridiculous.
Anyway, no, thanks for listening. I know last week, though, tell your friends and neighbors because, not a lot of views last week. And last week we went back away from all the terrible stuff. We talked some sports, had a few laughs. So I know it's nice out and all that. But
Yeah, it is. It's straight from the hip, guys, and we wouldn't be us if we didn't comment on some of the crap that's going on.
That's right.
But we had a stabbing just about a half mile from here. It's wonderful. I love it. My property value is soaring.
I was getting an ice cream cone at Dairy Queen. I treated myself and I was shot at 3 times. So
But
I did take cover.
and it was not a white supremacist.
Oh, by the way, I am being dead serious here. I left here last Thursday, left Tom's house after the filming. I get on the 33 via Maryville Drive.
Which should be covered, I think, so
Yeah,
we can
yeah,
see
we gotta,
forensic and
yeah, you gotta
awesome.
put pastures there. But I got on and I seriously heard boop, 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 boop. Now, it could be that it was fireworks, but I actually looked around and looked at duck. Now, I'm not kidding. I would never have done that before. I golfed on Tuesday, Buffalo Tournament Club. They have put in a police firing range off to the side of it, well away from it, but you could hear the pop, pop, pop. And boy, it does sound, I've never been around guns much. It does sound like fireworks. So, I must say I kind of ducked a little bit in my car.
And years ago, we would think it was a firecracker, but not anymore.
Now, I ducked, so.
Not anymore.
Especially
Them's
after-
bullets in them dare hills.
Especially after the stabbing and the drive-by about 2 blocks from there.
My grandfather
For
before
him.
talk about shootings.
Yeah, well, anyway. So, anyway, thanks for listening.
Good to see y'all, Timmy. Hope you're safe over in Peru. Welcome back.
When is
whenever you
he
do come
going
back.
to
Don't know.
He was on the top of Miku Picchu. I can't even say it right.
Right.
Just an amazing trip for the one-time Apollonian and
That's
one-time Deuce who never made it to the aces.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
You either, Danny. Sorry.
But anyways, guys, we'll see you soon. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Remember, woke's a joke. Woke is a joke.
It's a joke, and keep it in your necks.
Mama.
I'm going around all kinds of kids' toys here. We're all set. Bye-bye.